Buddhism emerged in India some 2600 years ago. In the nations of South and Southeast Asia, it is one of the most important faiths. Buddhism, which began in India, faded through time and was eventually supplanted by the 12th century. Buddhism's fall has been linked to a number of circumstances, including India's regionalization following the end of the Gupta Empire. The causes for the decline of Buddhism in India are corruption in Buddhist Sanghas. The Buddhist Sangh became corrupt during the course of time. The monks and their followers were enamored with luxury and pleasure. They became hungry and materialistic as a result of receiving and saving expensive presents such as gold and silver. They had devolved into a life of indiscipline. Their corrupt lifestyle and example made people lose attraction towards Buddhism. Reform in Hinduism. The Brahminical religion has been severely harmed by Buddhism. Hinduism, which was on the verge of extinction, began to reorganize itself. Hinduism started getting simplified and made itself more acceptable by abandoning the complicated system of ceremonies and rituals. Hindus eventually came to embrace Buddha as a Hindu incarnation and the non-violence itself. This aided in the revival of Hinduism and its resurgence in popularity. The fragrance of Buddhism was taken away as a result of this. Division among the Buddhists. Buddhism has seen its share of schisms. Buddhism's uniqueness was lost due to its division into several schools such as Hinayan, Mahayana, Vajrayana, Tantrayan, and Sahajyan. Buddhism had lost its simplicity and was becoming more complex. Use of Sanskrit language. Pali and Prakrit, the spoken languages of the majority of Indians, were used to propagate the Buddhist message. During Kanishka's rule, however, Sanskrit superseded these in the Fourth Buddhist Council. Sanskrit was a difficult language that few people could understand. Previously, the incomprehensible Sanskrit language has been blamed for Hinduism's downfall. When Buddhism adopted that language, just a few individuals understood it. What people couldn't comprehend was discarded. Patronage of Brahminism. With the passage of time, the Brahminical faith rose to prominence. Pushyamitra Sung, the final Maurya emperor, Brihadat's Brahmin commander, killed him and established the Shunga dynasty in its place. He was the one who performed the Ashwamedh sacrifice. It gave the Brahminical beliefs a boost. The essential part of Buddhism, non-violence, was abandoned. He demolished a number of stupas and monasteries. A large number of Buddhist monks were executed. Buddhism's expansion was shifted as a result of this. The imperial Gupta's sponsorship of the Brahminical creed once again paved the way for Buddhism's demise. Role of Hindu preachers. Harshvardhan expelled the Brahmins from the Kannauj religious council. Under Komaril Bhatt's leadership, these Brahmins escaped to the Deccan. Brahminism made a comeback under Bhatt's leadership. In addition, Adi Shankaracharya revitalized and deepened Hinduism. As a result, Hinduism's dominance over Buddhism was established. This tradition was perpetuated by Ramanuj, Nimbark, Ramanand, and others. Hinduism reclaimed its former greatness, stature, and appeal. It happened at the cost of Buddhism. Rifts in Buddhist order. The Buddhist order's internal schisms and conflicts rendered the rise of a new apostle impossible. Anand, Sariput, and Mudgalayan's earlier instances became extremely rare. Buddhism's passion and missionary zeal were forever lost. As a result of the lack of strong preachers and reformers, Buddhism began to wane. Worship of the Buddha. Mahayana Buddhists were the first to introduce image worship into Buddhism. They began to venerate the Buddha's image. The Buddhist teaching of rejecting complicated ceremonies and rituals of Brahminical worship were violated by this method of devotion. People were persuaded to assume that Buddhism was moving closer to Hinduism. As a result, Buddhism's prominence declined. Loss of royal patronage. With the passage of time, Buddhism's royal sponsorship dwindled. After Ashoka, Kanishka, and Harshvardhan, no notable king stepped up to support Buddhism. The growth of any faith is aided by royal sponsorship in a magical way. In the end, the lack of such sponsorship for Buddhism paved the road for its demise. Emergence of Rajputs. The rise of the Rajputs was a major factor in the demise of Buddhism. Bundela, Chahman, Chauhan, Rathore and other dynasties were violent monarchs who enjoyed fighting. They couldn't stand the Buddhists because of their non-violent teaching. The Buddhists fled India because they were afraid of being persecuted by the Rajput kings. Buddhism weakened and fell out of favor. Hun and Muslim invasion. Buddhism was shaken by the Hun invasion. Huna chiefs like Toyman and Meherkul were adamantly opposed to non-violence. They assassinated Buddhists in India's northwestern provinces. This scared the region's Buddhists who were forced to either abandon Buddhism or go into hiding. During those times, no one ventured to share the Buddha's teachings. As a result, Buddhism has become impoverished and feeble. Invasion of India by Muslims nearly wiped off Buddhism. From 712 AD onwards, their invasions of India became more frequent and recurrent. As a result of these invasions, Buddhist monks have sought refuge in Nepal and Tibet. If you want to join online classes for UGC NET History, please contact us on venus.jain2607@gmail.com or WhatsApp number 8454931380. If you have liked the episode, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.